Yeah. What's up? We are back with another one. This right here, old school classic. Y'all don't know about this, though. This is K-Blow, Curtis Blow. And we're talking, these are the breaks.
These are the breaks.
So tonight, we started out a little bit later than expected. We had some little technical difficulty, but we're going to get the show running here. A lot of good stuff tonight, including a look at Avery Brewing. We'll be talking about Avery on the heels of their recent sellout or buyout, depends who you ask. And then we'll have some other interesting pieces taking place in the beer world. I am your host again, Rod J. here. Thanks for tuning in for another show tonight. Always appreciate the love and you guys spending some time here. And, of course, riding shotgun with me, I've got Average Joe out of Buffalo.
Yay.
I've got Eric, a Lions fan, Eric's Beer Reviews out of Michigan.
What up?
And over in Indiana, I got Todd Wren out of Indiana. So we're going to be getting into some pretty good things from the beers. And hopefully you guys are feeling good tonight. I know I've already had a few earlier. We went out to Mexican, which you don't get a lot of craft beer at Mexican. So, I had to go a little Dos Equis Amber. That's what I had tonight.
Oh, I thought you would have.
And, of course, you got to go large. You got to go large or go home, right? So I had a big old 32-ounce mug or whatever. But before that, I was at the wife's little holiday get-together. Had a couple of beers there. Had a little Rheingeist, their dad, which is like their winter ale. And then a little bit of the Truth. So that's like the IPA. So the party's already rolling. And tonight, I'm going to kick it in gear with a little bit of, I know you guys know what I'm doing. Little zombie dust.
Nobody likes a break.
Indiana.
Nobody likes a break.
And then from Avery, what? A little pump. 18.8% ABV, folks. Not one to be played with. That is not a toy. So that's what I'm going to be rolling with tonight, at least to start.
You down for $1.99?
And then afterwards, we'll see where it takes us.
Quick disclaimer, Rod is feeling fantastic.
So what are you guys drinking tonight over there?
Well, I'm drinking. I'll go ahead and I'll start it off here. I'm drinking on the lighter side of the Avery. What do they call it? The Avery beer, whatever. I'm drinking the Ellie's Brown Ale.
Oh, Ellie, a fine woman she was.
I got two of them here, so I'm enjoying it pretty well. This is the first beer from Avery's that have gotten me into their beers, and I've liked pretty much all their stuff. So I'll go ahead and I'll turn it over to Mr. Joe.
Yeah, I'm drinking something Rod gets for like 30 cents a bottle, I think. This is I don't know how well it'll show up with my connection and everything, but if you can't see, it's probably not. It might. Yeah, there you go. This is the 2012 version. This is the batch number 11, November 2012. So 5-year-old, over 5 years old.
Throwing it back.
Yeah, so we're going to see how infected this is. No, I'm just kidding. It should be.
He doesn't drink anything unless it's 5 years old.
Yeah, it's got to be aged.
I sent one of those to Eric. Eric really enjoyed the Czar. So.
Oh, yeah. That was real good.
We'll all be talking Russian here pretty soon. Might get a job in the Trump campaign. So.
Yes! I cannot wait.
What about you, Todd? What did you pick up for tonight?
Like you, Rod, I've had a couple also. One of our local breweries here had their annual Christmas beer tasting tonight, free. You just go to the liquor store and get free tasting.
My favorite kind of wine there.
It's a little better than a Rod
picked
J.
up a couple of
little bit
barrel-aged 1050 while I was there.
Oh,
the 24 Imperial IPA.
Nice.
Oh, okay. I haven't picked that one up. I've had 22 and 23.
Either. This is
What
their
comes after
anniversary.
20.
Anniversary edition.
Sorry.
24 year, 24 anniversary.
Oh, all right.
We can count.
Next year will be 25, by the way. Just put it out there.
Is that how numbers work? I'm confused.
You guys are getting into your Avery. I mean, you don't have to get into Avery because Avery is just what we're going to talk about. But I got to let mine warm up. As it tells you on here, they like to prefer around 50 degrees. Which is what I always say you want to have a stout around anyway.
Mine's been out of the fridge. Yes, Paul. If Paul from PA Brewing is watching, it went into a fridge. This is where you cool down food and like potential drinks. I know it's crazy, but this been out of the fridge.
How dare you?
It's
been out of the fridge for about an hour.
Warms up meat, so
yeah. This has been out of the fridge for about an hour, so it's like 55-ish, maybe 60. And this is for 5 years. Fantastic. This is
Oh,
awesome.
the Czar won't let you down. I almost want to go get one from the basement just to do it with it because I know it'll still be in good shape.
11.1%, and yeah, 11.1. Dude, it is so silky smooth too. And like a lot of Russian Imperial Stouts and Imperial Stouts in general, sometimes you get that like soy saucy, like umami type of character. That doesn't have, this is, nope, non-existent. This is just like a lot of roasted malt, super, super smooth too, like, and no alcohol whatsoever. This is drinking like it's 7-8%, so scary. It's very scary, but I'm going to tear that apart. It's going to be great.
Nice. Let my zombie dust sit here for a second.
When did Avery buy 3 Floyds?
We did what?
Avery buy 3 Floyds.
They didn't. I did. We're talking Avery later. You don't have to have the Avery. I got an 18.8 Avery. I'm sure I'll do okay with it. 18.8 ABV. I'm not rushing. This is just to get the party started.
You already got
his show. He does what he wants.
Yeah. He does what he wants.
This is a tap the bottle. The Avery's a twisted cap. So we're just getting it rocking and rolling here.
It's just a pre-game cocktail. That's all.
Pre-game cocktail. It's not like we're doing reviews right now. So.
Pre-game cocktail. Good one, Todd.
Zombie dust, always fun out of the great state of where Todd represents.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I got this, and it was like I went to Whole Foods, and they had this like 3 sitting on the shelf. So I was like, well, might as well just take them home with me. This one here, actually, right there.
So inquiring minds want to know, how much did Daraje pay for that?
$2.29.
$2.29 for a bottle of zombie dust.
Yeah. What did I say earlier, Rod? No one likes a bragger.
No limit. I was like, you 3, get in the cart. Come on, let's go.
Yeah. 3. You got 3. Some BS. Good job, though.
So looking at some recent beer stuff, Eric, you'll like this. Yingling is now talking about their next state going into will be Michigan.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, so now they're actually talking about setting up things to get it to Michigan and get into the distribution. So you won't have to worry about road tripping and picking it up anywhere else. You'll have it made available hopefully shortly.
It's been about 10 years too long.
Yeah, well, they're a company that's taking a while to grow, right? So oldest brewery in America, and yet they're only like in 20 states or something.
Yeah,
they grow slowly. So you'll be able to get a few lines of the Yinglings coming through there. Probably the porter, the black and tan. They're traditional. They're light.
When did they say they were gonna maybe start?
The piece I was reading, I didn't look to see what the start date was, but they just started putting stuff out there saying they're kind of eyeing Michigan as the next state for distribution. So hopefully here in 2018, I mean, you'd have to think with them, it's just more or less filing paperwork and get clearance to do it.
Probably, yeah.
So it shouldn't be too bad there. So you'll be happy to know that.
Good.
Let's see here. So the next thing I had here, and I'm going to share my screen here in a second, because I saw this piece on the internet, and I'm going to go ahead and call it BS for this piece that was out here.
You got to believe everything that's on the internet, let's be honest.
I mean, only in the politics. Politics, you got to believe that. So this article was ran by this Jonathan Sykes for Westworld, whatever publication that is. Craft beer is dead. Your favorite delicious style killed it. So it gets into talking about, I'm scrolling the wrong screen, gets into talking about how craft beer, people are forgetting how beer actually tastes. And some of these, for instance, stouts are ruining things for a lot of beer lovers, because you're getting these different type of coffee stouts or caramel stouts. So I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? Craft beer is all about innovation. It's all about being different. It's about creating something. To say that your favorite delicious style is killed because you don't like some of the opportunities being brought to the market, that just makes no sense to me. It's just stupid. It's kind of like, let's not have innovation. Let's keep everything the same. I mean, that's what we had in the 70s with our limited choices of beers and in the 80s. So I don't know if you guys had saw this piece or not, but it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Like, dude, quit your bitching and enjoy the beers that are coming out right now because they're pretty freaking delicious.
Yeah, I saw this piece a couple days ago, and Was it yesterday maybe? And well, yeah, it says December 6th, right?
Yeah.
I agree with you. It's one of these things where like we've run out of things to talk about. So let's now talk about how they specifically, I think, say pastry stouts and talk about New England style IPAs and stuff.
Right.
Last that I thought, here's the thing. Last that I remember is that if I go to my local favorite bottle shop, I can still go get regular styles of stuff and lots of them because companies still make it. So if I want a regular porter, I want a craft lager, if I want a pilsner, I want something. They're there, readily available, tons of them.
Right.
Now, there might not be new beers within certain like old school styles being released all the time, but there's still a lot of breweries that will release like, here's a red ale, here's our Irish red, here's whatever, here's our brown ale. The thing is that a lot of these breweries want to be innovative, and here's the thing: like any business, you brew what sells. And all these pastry stouts, all these barrel-aged beers, all these New England-style IPAs, people love them. People buy them. That's what people want. So as a business, you have to make a decision. Do I brew classic styles because whatever, or do I brew stuff that the consumers demand? You usually listen to your consumers if you're a good company anyway. And that's just how it's happening right now. And it's very cyclical where it's like it'll come back to like it's right now we're in the whole New England style IPA adjunct stouts, right? A couple years from now it's going to be something else. A couple years ago sours were a huge thing. I mean, they're still huge, but I mean that was like the thing. Barrel aged years a couple years before that. It's going to come back to where people just want to sit down and drink an English mild or pilsner or whatever. A lot of people have been talking for a while about like what's the next big thing in craft beer. People are like sub 5% beers that have a lot of flavor. Like innovation is what makes craft beer great. So for someone to complain about all these cool innovative beers because it killed basic styles, although it didn't,
right?
It's one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. It's a horrible piece because it makes literally no sense, and it just goes in the same vein of people complaining about something because that's what we do nowadays as a society, right? Got to always be complaining about something in life.
Yeah, true, very true. Any take from Todd or Eric? You guys on it or anything?
I haven't seen the article.
Okay. But
Yeah,
the idea about saying like these beers are killing craft beer, you disagree with that as well?
Yeah.
As far, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's just too many other. I guess I kind of look at it as what Todd said. The bourbon barrel stouts and the New England IPAs, and at some point even maybe some of the Belgian style stouts. It's not killing it. It's kind of like he said, what the consumer wants. If they want Avery, or if they want Clown Shoes, if they want Founders, if they want whatever beer company, it's gonna be out there for people to buy because the people are demanding that style of beer.
Right. I definitely agree.
I agree. I mean, I can't really add much to that. It's what the consumer wants. Why would you not brew what's going to make you money, or it's going to sell? Why would you just put something out that just to be putting something out and it's just going to sit around for whatever the case may be?
Right,
I don't
exactly, Todd.
Yeah. Style is different, so you're gonna, to me, the more the merrier. Why not? As long as you're not oversaturating it too much. No, I don't think we're to that point yet.
Yeah. Go ahead, John.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Rod. I'll add after.
No, I was going to say, to me, I just find it to be kind of an asinine piece and just not a piece that's really logical in any regard for when you're talking about what craft beer is actually supposed to be, to sit there and have a piece bringing up some of these points. No, it's just not. I mean, it's like the whole thing. Okay, you're a traditionalist maybe, but, things change. So if you don't like, you can still get the same traditionalist beers. Why are you worried about what everybody else is drinking?
Did you respond back to the article at all?
I haven't as of yet. I just saw it. I saw it yesterday, and it got me thinking about it, and I haven't responded yet, and I figured I'd share it today as well.
Well, and I'd say, I would, again, and this is just an assumption, because why not assume things, right? Making an ass out of myself. But no, it's one of those things where if you go walk into your local bottle shop and you see here's just a regular American porter, and next to it is that same regular porter that's barrel aged, and then next to that is that same American porter with cocoa nibs, vanilla, and some other kind of adjunct. more often than not, we're going to buy those adjunct ones and that barrel-aged ones before we buy that regular one. I'm not saying that's right, but I'm saying that's kind of where the consumers are nowadays. You can get a lot of different regular porters that are readily available, and there's a lot of good ones out there. But when you see something that piques your interest, is innovative, is creative, you're going to flock towards that. And that's what people want craft beer right now. They want something that's innovative. They want something, more importantly, that's different. But even more important than that, something that tastes good to them. And there's a reason why all these, again, in the article talking about pastry beers, right? They're talking about like German chocolate cake and this. There's reasons why those pique the interest of craft beer drinkers.
Right.
Because they're probably really tasty to those people. And that's why you drink beer, I think, right? To enjoy it. I don't like there's no, it's like almost an underlying, I don't know, reasoning for it. And it's not. It's like these brewers are brewing this stuff to hit the consumer where they want to be hit. That's right in the heartstrings. They want to be hit where they're going to say, I want to buy that beer. I'm going to buy that beer. I'm really going to enjoy it. And that's what craft beer is about. So the article is just dumb. Yeah. I mean, for lack of a better word, it's just dumb.
And he does offer some quotes and offer some counterpoints. But yeah, the whole premise behind the whole thing is just not a great idea in my opinion. It's just kind of like
clickbait is what it is.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, let's make something out of nothing, and then people are going to talk about it like us.
Yeah, which is what they want. So, be satisfied and appease them in that regard. Which reminds me, if you guys have comments out there watching, make sure you put comments in the comment section. So
we do have a bunch of comments.
We can pull those. Anything you want to hit on right now?
You can almost even go the other way with that, as to helps the base beers also, because if you're having a variance, you should have the base beer to see what you're actually tasting. I mean, so the base beer you may not go out and buy, but you might go out and buy it now because you want to see what the actual base beer is of that variant or whatnot.
That's a good point, Todd.
I think that's a great point, because I think it's one of those things where if you buy a variant of the beer or a barrel aged version of the beer, you always should check out the base beer first, because then you kind of know what you're getting into to begin with. A lot of people don't; they just jump from nothing to those variants without tasting the base beer, and kind of gets lost in translation a little bit. When they start, they're like, I don't know what they're going for. Well, maybe if you had the base beer, you'd have a better idea of what you're comparing it to or where it went from that. As far as ratings, the czar's fantastic.
Calm down.
As far as comments go, we have Hillbilly Wine 101 was here earlier, and he said, waiting for you, Rod. So if he's still here, shout out to him.
Shout out to Hillbilly, definitely.
Craig from Kent Beer Reviews. I know he stayed up a little extra because he was like, are you guys having a show tonight? If not, I'm going to bed. And I was like, 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock for Hananan. And he was like, all right, I might crack open a beer.
But
he said, hey, dudes, let the birds fly free. He might be a little bit Rod-like right now. Not in getting great deals, but just ready to go. Tyler Mankle, he says, beer flow going on here. Hello.
What's up, Tyler?
Tyler.
And then he continues with, he says, yeah, how can people have time for those articles, as in writing them? I mean, that's kind of their job, but I mean, yeah, it's very hashtag clickbait. I mean, that's what it is. It's to get people talking. A lot of times I believe these guys don't even really believe what they're saying.
Right.
So, it's just like to get to spark a conversation amongst the craft beer drinkers, because a lot of people like us and people who follow will see that and go, oh, wait, hang on, that's stupid. Or, wait, maybe.
What's the Jules and Pulp Fiction? Oh, may I retort?
Yeah, pretty much. Chris on the 10th, buddy of ours, he says, sup, homies? He goes, if it tastes good and it's a beer, what's the problem? He said, must have been an AB InBev employee who wrote the article.
That's a good call.
And then he continues with the hashtag pray for Joe, the whole little thing that's going on, which is fantastic. We'll get to that later. Then we have Bum showing up from Jody.
Pittsburgh in the Hizzle.
Yep, he says, last time I checked, which was this afternoon, Bud, Miller, and Coors were still available on store shelves. Basic lagers do exist as of 12/7/17.
It's true.
And then Craig finished with Ari Avery, which he was talking about to let the birds fly free. So
nice. Yeah, so keep the comments coming and we'll try to stay on top of them as best we can.
Every like 10 minutes, I'll try to, I don't want to just like be like, shut up, whoever's talking. We're going to read the comment. Like we have a natural conversation going. So it's, we'll try to hit it especially when when we start going to the Avery stuff, the whole topic, we'll try to get to them every so often. So you guys don't get lost in the shuffle.
And speaking of the comments too, I launched the new segment earlier this week where I started the new Beer Tuber Spotlight. So hopefully some of the guys got to check that out. That was kind of interesting. I did it with Tanya Mikowski. If you guys are thinking of a beer tuber you want to find out more information about, maybe have a conversation with, feel free to nominate them, put their name in the comments section of their channel, and I'll reach out to them, of course. Next Tuesday will be the next one, so I do need to reach out to get someone there. Some point when Average Joe launches his channel, it might be a sit down with Average Joe, but Eric's a beer tuber, so we might get him on his channel as well. So I just wanted to throw that out there too, but got a lot of pretty good responses back from that, and we had a great time, me and Tanya, and got a chance to find out a little bit more about her. Make sure you check out her channel, which is her namesake, Tanya Mikowski.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a cool concept. I like that.
Thanks. Well, I like to think I learned something in my advertising degree in college, but I try to put something. I'm paying a loan. I might as well use it for something.
Yeah, let's settle down until you see those YouTube monies, Ron. Okay, let's settle down.
Simmer down.
I might get back over the $2 threshold on YouTube with videos like that.
Yeah, so. You might be able to buy another zombie dust at some point.
You go to a bar. Sometimes you'll play a game. You'll do darts. You might do pool. Maybe cornhole or beanbag, depending where you're at, what they call it, horseshoes. What about axe throwing? I'm kind of interested to find out, but then I'm a little worried. You're throwing axes around in a bar? So
that sounds like a terrible idea.
I'm not going to lie. Not actual axes.
I'm intrigued, but yet I am also terrified. So
seems highly unsafe.
It sounds like more of a spectator sport than actually participation.
So speaking about a state where I earned my college degree, West Virginia, a craft beer focused axe throwing bar they're about to open up there. So as you scroll down here.
Yo, none of this sounds like it's a good idea. Absolutely none of it.
Exactly. But keep going.
Well, I was going to try to scroll down.
Cash up minus a hand. Yeah, I lost last week.
This is actually going to be at a bar in Charleston, West Virginia. I'm trying to scroll down, but my Google seems to be locking up because we know how Google sucks on when you're doing these hangouts. But basically, they're going to have they'll be serving a lot of craft ales, but they're going to cut out a section of the bar where they will actually have axe throwing to take place. So let's see if it scrolls down now. Axe throwing competition is located, and it says in this place, Lucky Dill Deli in Charleston, West Virginia. So the bar is called Lucky. That should be another sign right there.
How great is that?
Initially it's a 6-month-old sandwich shop where they'll be bringing in these craft ales. West Virginia's first indoor axe throwing range. Let's see here. Open on December 14th. Within the shop promises locally made craft beers and wine, as well as 5 axe throwing courts. I mean, if somebody goes wide with one or something, I mean, I guess you can't see them down around there. I mean, if somebody comes in their backhand and it slips out of their hand, I mean, I can just imagine some of the things that may happen.
Feeling that parking lot's gonna be full of ambulances just waiting.
It could be, but yeah. So this is the axe throwing is the new bar sport. They're saying they're going to open up here, and apparently it's open in locations across the United States as well. So they're saying so much for your wimpy dart sets, which we've known there's been dart accidents. So there's going to be accidents.
As terrible of an idea that sounds, I'm very intrigued and would love to go and just check it out.
Like, who hasn't stumbled in front of a dartboard at some time right before somebody throws a dart? Now, when you got an axe in your hand?
At no point in time have I ever been in a bar or a brewery and heard anyone say, you know what? These darts, there's a bit wimpy. Does anyone have any axes? Because if we do, I'm ready to throw them. Like, this seems like the most terrible idea you could possibly think of when you're drinking and people are hammered to have axes in their hands and throwing them. That's just.
This is like an idea you would create like at a pop bar.
Yeah, I mean,
it would be cool, man, if we were throwing axes. We had an axe competition, you know.
I think Craig from Kind of Beer Reviews basically sums it all up. He says, "Sounds like Paul's bar with all the maxes." Yes,
yeah.
This is something you would think in the
Paul's bar or Paul's basement. It all goes together.
Yeah, in the backwoods of wherever where there's Bigfoots and random things happening. Yes, you throw axes. I don't know about just a regular craft beer bar or brewery. That doesn't make any sense to me. I like how in the article they're like, "Oh, there's dart accidents." Yeah, how many? Because I feel like there's going to be like 7 on the first day of these axe throwing events. Oh, this is terrible.
Come back with a bandage on your head. You're like, oh, you've been hanging out there again, haven't you?
Yeah. What happened to you? Funny story. I was at a craft beer bar and an axe hit me right in the side of my head. What do you mean an axe? Oh, it's the new thing. Craft beer bars, we got axe throwing events. No, I don't want to hear that ever.
We're just spectating, and all of a sudden,
I mean, when you lose, it's like you got chopped. Is that what they say? Or
Craig continues with take the kids. Yeah, that's a great idea. Kid friendly event. There's only axes everywhere. Also, Tyler is leaving. He says, "Good discussion here, but he has to jet. Enjoy."
Hey, thanks, Tyler.
See you, Tyler.
But you think about it, it's kind of like, I mean, when I go back to Charleston the next time, I'm going to stop in his bar because I got to see it for myself and get some.
You have to live stream it because I just want to see how ridiculous this is.
Yeah,
that's what I was going to say. You got to video that for sure.
So I'll have to remember this story and note it down for the next time I go back. I mean, an axe throwing competition in a bar. What could go wrong?
A lot of things.
Right. What could go wrong?
Where should
Chris
we start?
On the 10th says the place in NF is called Battle Beer Food Murders. It's a good tagline, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Unbelievable. But totally believable because hey, there's pastry stouts, there's axe throwing. It's all in it.
We're close to getting back to jousting pretty soon.
Yeah, no problem. Drunk jousting, nothing can happen. Not bad whatsoever.
So we also have Utah Epic Brewing. I don't know if you guys have had some of their beers. I've had some of theirs in the past.
Big Bad Baptist?
Yes, sir.
I got a couple other beers I got to do yet.
They just purchased Telegraph Brewing Company.
Oh, really? Out of
California.
Yeah, out of California, right? We actually get their stuff here in New York. I've had a couple of their beers.
Yeah,
so like a rhinoceros beer or something.
Yeah. So both sides are pretty excited about the coming together, and I gotta admit, I almost feel better when a craft brewery buys another one than having the macro come in and buy them. So
you feel better?
I just feel like it's like someone that comes understanding that market they're buying. They're not trying to put some of the shareholder stuff on top of it.
Yeah, it's also like a good merger almost.
Yeah. So hopefully that drives some good stuff. It says as part of the Telegraph purchase, Epic will move 7 of his fodders, large wooden vessels for aging sour beer from its Denver brewery to Santa Barbara, enabling Telegraph to produce more sour beers. So they'll be sharing some equipment there and helping them drive some more stuff there. And they're happy because of the distribution they're going to get from Epic Brewing now too. So
nice.
So this couldn't be a better fit, including some advantages to distribution overlaps and create opportunities to expand both brands across California and beyond. So hopefully you'll see some, if you haven't seen Epic Brewing and you haven't seen Telegraph, hopefully you start to see them come into some of the markets out there as well. So that's kind of a cool thing.
What's funny here is in New York, we get Telegraph, we don't get Epic. So maybe we'll get Epic finally.
No one says they fully understand the 3-tier system anyway. So.
We used to get Epic here until about a year ago.
Don't get it any more time?
Yeah.
They pulled out of the state?
Yep.
And speaking of Epic, that is it the Baptista? A lot of good buzz out there, the triple barrel one or whatever.
Triple Big Bad Baptist.
Yeah, that's getting a lot of attention out there as being a really solid beer too.
I thought Todd said he bought one of those. Didn't you say you bought one of those, Todd, last week?
No, I actually, when I was in North Carolina a month or so, 6 weeks ago, I picked up a Big Bad Baptist, but I haven't.
Oh, I
think we can't get them here.
No.
I'd love to have that one now.
Yeah, it sounds good. No.
And I can't remember if you guys are Game of Thrones fans.
I've never seen it.
I've never watched it either.
No, same here. I'm not saying it's probably a great show, but I just don't watch it.
Have you watched it, Todd?
Yeah, we actually just started watching it. We're up to speed now, but we just started watching it like over the summer.
Okay. So I have not watched them. My wife watches them. I never got into it. Although, if you ever go to the internet, there's a nice little breakdown that Samuel L. Jackson does as the beginner's guide to Game of Thrones. A must see. Google it or YouTube it. It's a must see. And after watching that, it's like, you know what? I might start watching this show a little bit.
So is it Samuel L. breaking it down? Is that what
he breaks it down and stuff, and he does a really good job. Doesn't give away any spoilers, but the way he tells the story is hilarious.
I'll have to check it out.
But you've had Omer Gang beers, and Omer Gang has the Game of Thrones beers, which I've had a few of those, and those are pretty delicious. So they just came out with their new one, 8.3 ABV. The winner is here, double white ale. So
I've seen those here with a box set. You get 2 bombers and a glass.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How much were those tagged at? Do you remember?
I wanted to say it was either $19.99 or $24.99. I can't remember.
Cheap then.
For 2 bombers and a glass?
Well, usually don't the Amagang Game of Thrones beers sell like $8 to $10? So I wouldn't be surprised if it was $20 for 2 of them plus a glass.
Yeah, I think that's about right.
I think the Amagang ones I've seen.
I don't know. They've released a lot of the Game of Thrones beers. It's like a half a dozen to 8 of them now at this point, and I've had a few of them, and they've been pretty good. But I like Amagang. I didn't expect anything less, but I feel like they could have done a little bit more outside the box considering the show. But I know they're also trying to appeal.
They can't put a dragon in the beer, Joe.
Well, I mean,
why not?
Listen. You know they could try.
You can have axe throwing at a bar. You can have dragons in a beer.
At least dragon blood in it. I mean, I don't need the entire dragon. But no, it's one of those things where they have to appeal to people who don't. I mean, because a lot of people buy that beer that don't even care about craft beer because they love the show.
Because they love the show, right?
So it's like if you brew something that's not going to be overwhelming to just someone who doesn't drink craft beer's palate, I get it. I get both sides of it.
Well, that could be a nice little gift pack for the holidays.
Yeah, for sure.
But Winter is Here is made with Pilsner and white wheat malts plus soft red wheat flakes and hopped with Saz hops.
Oh, yes, some soft, what is it, soft red wheat flakes? Yes! I know exactly what that is.
Because you went the soft red. And Pizza Hut is now beginning to deliver beer as part of their service.
That's on them.
So this is now starting out in Phoenix, it looks like. The first step into what is to be intended as a nationwide rollout of the service. So we know beer and pizza go together. Even Joe D, check out Joe D's channel, another good beer tuber out there. He talked about, pairing of beer and pizza together. And now Pizza Hut is going to bring you both. However, be aware, might not always be the best brand you're looking for. So the one in Phoenix, right now, 4 varieties are offered. 4 varieties, right? 3 all in one company. Budweiser, Bud Light, and Shock Top.
Yeah, well, of course.
And then Kilt Tilter, which is a local brand. So they do have one craft beer in there, at least.
No Miller Lite?
No Miller Lite.
Settle down, Eric. Eric, you're going to settle down at some point.
Which Kilt Tilter might be something in there. Maybe a Dev Umbrella out there. I don't know, but it's a 6-pack. Each 6-pack is priced at $10.99, which really isn't bad considering you're having delivered because they're mostly about $9.99 anyway in most places.
Well, wait, for like Budweiser?
The pizza and the beer?
Well, not for Budweiser. Well, yeah.
Like if you're paying $11 for a 6-pack of Budweiser, the joke's on you, Pizza Hut.
Yeah, well, I would hope you're going to do it. You're going to do it with the Tilter.
But then you're having to deliver to your house. Like, I mean, whatever. You pay.
That's a little markup for just drive. I mean, well, while he's bringing the pizza, I can run to 7-Eleven and be back too.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people that are like, look, I'm on my couch. I don't want to move. So yeah, that sounds all right to me. Like, I'll pay almost $2 about it for Budweiser because I don't have to do anything.
Or you're already drunk and you're not going to drink. So
yeah, that's true.
So that's kind of interesting. Also, this piece that talks about delivery of alcoholic beverages are being tried by a number of chains as a way of boosting off-premise sales. These include BJ's Restaurants, which we have here, which is local brew houses, TGI Fridays, Buffalo Wild Wings, Outback Steakhouse, Gus's World, Famous Fried Chicken, I've not heard of it, but it's famous. And
Super famous.
Mama Foods and Flying Pie. That might be the best title right there. Mama Foods and Flying Pie.
Yeah,
so if you have one of those, let us know and let us
let us know if you ordered some beer too, I guess, right? Which kind? How much? So, no, hey, that's. I mean, more options are cool. I mean, to be able to. I think Todd hit the nail on the head. And I'm sure Eric at the end will go into his whole spiel about drunk driving, which is great. It's a great PSA. But yeah, some people are hammered. Some people are already drunk. Some people are getting it delivered with your pizza or whatever food you're getting. Hey, beats the alternative.
They know, like, where's the liability going to fall if they deliver to people already hammered?
Well, as long as those people hammered don't go anywhere.
Well, yeah, but even if I don't know, they get hurt in their own house, and they say,
I guess
Pizza Hut a 6-pack of beer, and then I fell down a flight of steps.
Well, then get better at not being an idiot. I don't know.
All right, and then the other story I have before we turn to Avery, and you might want to hold your happiness here.
I'm ready to drink port. Don't worry.
You can now drink Krispy Kreme donut beer.
Mm.
So, 2 Florida breweries recently teamed up to create a Russian Imperial Stout brewed with actual Krispy Kreme donuts. Hidden Spring Ale Works posted a photo on his Facebook page of the brewing process where you can see a ton of glazed donut pieces made in the beer. This will be a 12.5% ABV brew. Pretty boozy compared to most, even for a stout. But it will taste like Krispy Kreme glazed donut.
Oh, I could see where an Imperial Stout and a Krispy Kreme glazed donut would actually pair pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, what? Come on.
It says while Krispy Kreme wasn't directly involved in the making of the beer, they have offered to reach out. Oops. Used to be able to read the internet without commercials, but hey. So Krispy Kreme is offering support behind it as well, even though they're not in the making of the beer. Hey, we want to help you out and get that branded. So,
well, have any of you guys tried Evil Twins Imperial Donut Break? That was made with real donuts.
I haven't had that one.
I've seen it, but I didn't get it.
It was pretty good, and it had a. Here's the thing: you can't really replicate donuts in beer unless you're using probably artificial flavorings. But it had like a nice confectionery sweetness that added to the beer. So. I'd be curious to see how that beer works out.
But isn't Rogue doing donuts as well?
We don't talk about Rogue on this.
I've never had their Voodoo Donut or their cereal.
Yeah, I haven't had any Rogue beers.
Well, keep it that way, Eric. You're way ahead of the curve. I'll tell you that much. No, they did. They had their whole Voodoo Donut range. But they might say they use real Voodoo Donuts in that, but I don't think so. I think they're using a lot of artificial flavors and vanilla beans and cocoa nibs and stuff to produce a beer that is similar to whatever donut they're going after, where Evil Twin actually did put real donuts like they're going to with the Krispy Kreme. So it's a cool concept, but I think like anything else, like when a lot of places use certain ingredients, it kind of gets lost in the shuffle and it just becomes like this flavor that is just generic. And that's kind of what happens to donuts. You get like a slight bready confectionery sugar thing going on. It's not like you're gonna be drinking going totally Krispy Kreme donuts. Yes, 100%. It's just gonna be sweet, bready, solid.
Nice.
Still though, I'm on board to try it. Totally. As long as Rogue's not brewing it.
He's diving into the 18%. Look out.
Oh, yeah. This is gonna end. This is gonna end Rod. Rod's done. This is where everything goes downhill.
For those of you that haven't tuned in earlier, I'm about to open up the pumpkin KYN, pumpkin KY, still.
And that's where Rod is from. Oh my God, it's KY, Kentucky Bourbon Barrels. Yeah.
18.8% ABV.
That's a session beer.
18.8 sessionable beer. So
can we get a Ric Flair woo? Woo!
Woo! Baby,
would you get those for $5.99?
Oh yeah, some smoke happening too. Where's Joe D? We got smoke, baby.
Big 2 thumbs up for the smoke.
Oh yeah, pours like mud.
Hey Rod, what'd you pay for those $5.99?
This one here? Oh, I got a deal. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Oh really? Is that
usually is like $12.99 a bottle or whatever. My place here, $6.99.
Wow, Jesus.
What is it normally priced at, Rod?
Usually like $12.99 or so.
Yeah, those are
like their tweak.
Where in the hell do you go to get beer 50% freaking off?
Well, it is the 2016 edition, but at 18.8, I think I'm okay.
Rod, I'm going to say this.
You should be fine.
For probably not the last time tonight, but nobody likes a bragger.
Annual barrel service. Oh, this is batch, if you can see it there. Batch number 3.
Yeah.
That's on this bottle.
No, I don't want to look at it. You mother effer! That's a great deal, though.
Porter brewed with pumpkins and spices aged in bourbon barrels.
I'm going to read the comments.
I have not had this one before.
Gonna read the comments while Rod continues to brag.
Sometimes as simple as can be the.
Yeah, we're not gonna listen to you until you actually drink it because stop bragging.
Layers of complexity. Ooh.
No, actually, take a sip. Come on, Rod. Live review. Come on.
Serve at 46 to 50 degrees.
No, that's a lie. It should be like 55. You liars. Come on, Avery. They already were bought out
on the ground.
Oh, yeah.
That's a big bear. That's a great beer.
We no longer see Rod in the picture. We know what happened.
Yep.
Ooh, that is boozy. Nice spice.
It's only 18.8%. How could it be boozy?
Yeah, but you get that bourbon. That bourbon pretty much punches you in the nose.
Oh, it does. That is a big beer.
Nice sweetness to it. Some vanilla. That pumpkin in the back, some nutmeg. Oh yeah. Daddy's gonna like this one.
$6.99. You got ripped off.
Rod, would you say that pairs with some of your more pungent cheeses, baby, like maybe your gorgonzolas or your blue cheese?
Oh, it's so smooth the way it lays on your tongue.
Maybe some smoked Gouda.
Yeah. Get the Macho Man coming out on this one. Oh yeah.
Would you like to pair it with the Slim and dig it?
I'm gonna have to call Dusty from heaven.
Oh, baby, we're drinking the 18.8% pumpkin with a KY, daddy.
I mean, it's got like a syrupy type feel a little bit in there, but
it's 19%, Rod.
It better be syrupy.
It's like a liqueur at that point, right?
You're definitely getting the booze. I can feel the body heating up. I can feel the energy starting to rise. Temperatures rising. Was that a song?
Baby down! Friday night!
I may drink this Friday night. I'm going to start calling around a couple companies looking for some Four Horsemen.
How many horsemen do you need? Looking for 4.
How many of those did you buy? How many of those did you
buy?
buy?
2, one for this one and then one for a review.
Yeah, that's a good.
You should go buy another one and just sit on it for a few years.
Don't tempt me. Don't tempt me.
Yeah, I mean, I would.
I'm going to drive there.
I'm at the point now. I'm going to start asking places, can I just like direct deposit part of my check here, and you hold them an account, and I'm just coming in and.
Sounds about right. Sounds about right.
Can I just get a tab going?
Yeah.
Honestly, though, Rod, you talk about like all your awesome deals you get, which are awesome, and we're super jealous of it. And I hate you, but I love you. But it's the same thing where this is a great deal, though. Like these beers are anywhere from like $12 to $15, and we're to get it for $6.99 is just absolutely bonkers.
Yeah.
I would have bought like a half dozen of them, and I would have aged a couple of them for sure.
Well, the brewery deals that you'll see in upcoming videos, the big bottles, $2.99, $3.99.
All right, go read the comments because
gladly pay Tuesday for a big beer today.
I will get the comments real quick though because there's quite a few of them actually. Let's see. Bum says. They specialize in blood orange IPAs, talking about the Axe place, the Axe bar.
Blood orange, I like it.
And then Craig continues with, I will order a cutthroat porter. Chris says, hashtag corruption with an axe. He also says, Game of Thrones is great. And he says, donut beer would probably be Homer Simpson's favorite.
Probably.
Yes.
Don't.
Don't. But as we were talking about the Krispy Kreme beers, Bum says, I sure hope that Krispy Kreme beers are better than those horrific Rogue Voodoo donut abominations.
Yeah,
and then he says, jinx, because we said it at the same time. So indeed.
Well, for Bum, I'll say, how excited will Joe be when he finds out there's a Krispy Kreme donut beer out there? I'm sure Joe's going to get some.
Oh, Joe D's going to flip out. It's going to be fantastic. Paul comes in with, he says 155 degrees. I think he's talking about the temperature of how he drinks his beers, no doubt.
Boiling point.
Just like his women, barely moving.
I see a bubble. There's two of them. It's good. It's good. Not quite boiling. Chris from On the 10th, he said that would kill me talking about your beer because Chris, if nobody knows, Chris is basically anything over 6%. He can get the burn from the alcohol because he has a baby palate. It's all right. He's a noob when it comes to craft beer, so he's getting it. It's tough for him to drink like an over 6% beer without picking up the alcohol strain. Even if it doesn't really have one, he picks it up. So he said, "Is that beer smooth?"
Oh, Rod, it's smooth. And you know what? I'll probably drink this, and I'll probably be gaming later on the other channel. So I'll be drunk, killing people.
Oh, it's gonna be fantastic to watch that. Paul comes back and says Rod is ignoring Joe. I wouldn't have it done any other way.
Nobody ignores Joe.
Yeah, he said.
Is that possible?
No. I don't even want to live in a world where that's possible, Todd. Paul says, ha 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 ha. The beer is too good for cheese talk. Daddy, I don't know what you're talking about. Never too good for cheese talk, baby.
Cheese, baby.
Yeah. And then Bum finishes with, I want to hear Dusty Rhodes rattle off a list of recommended glassware. Bum, you don't want
Don't threaten.
Bum,
don't threaten.
Yeah, you don't want that, Bum. Nobody wants that.
We do, Joe. We do.
No, we can't do that. That's not possible. We gotta keep it classy at all times.
Let's keep it classy.
Keep it classy, San Diego.
Baby, we're going to be using our oversized snifter to drink the beer, Daddy. If you have a Tiku, or they like to say Teku, man, that's the preference of Dusty Rhodes, Daddy. Now, with Rod drinking out of that little stem tulip, baby, that's not for an 18.8% beer, baby. But
speaking of wrestling, the guys at work got pretty pumped up today because they found out SmackDown is coming to Cincinnati in a few weeks, so...
Oh boy!
They were trying to get tickets for that. A bunch of the guys.
Speaking of wrestling, we have a little bit of a rivalry going in the chat here. Redbeard comes in and says, "What be going down?" ? And Paul responds with, "Your subs."
That is shots fired.
and then Redbeard responds with, "Who, me?" He goes, "Those be going upward pretty much every day, LOL." And Paul says, "Oh crap, it was my subs." Oh well. Oh, that's fantastic.
Paul with the SD Jones special delivery there.
Oh baby, you talking about a jobber that loses in 16 seconds at WrestleMania? Yeah, they're correct. That's Paul.
Everybody wanted SD Jones to win.
You just never could, baby.
Special delivery never arrived. So you want to run down the Avery stuff?
Yes, I guess. They're now a macro company, so I don't know.
Here's the Average Joe segment.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, this is going to be. So we're doing Avery Brewing Company tonight. Most of you guys out there probably familiar with Avery. You've had stuff. Not a ton of information about their start, but we'll go into it real quick. So they were founded in 1993 by Adam Avery.
Double A is what they call him.
Oh, baby, they call him Double A. They're the best spine buster ever.
Not on Anderson, though. Not that one.
No, not that one, baby. But he still had the great spine buster. And they started brewing beers. They started out with a 7-barrel tank to ferment their beers, and by 2015 they were producing 50,000 barrels. So, about 22 years, they made some moves. The volume of beer that they've sold over the years is, allowed them to increase their distribution through Colorado and the rest of the U.S. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but obviously all 4 of us get Avery beers. I'm pretty sure most people get Avery beers now, which is cool. When they had some issues, though, with capacity constraints in 2010 and 11, they ended up leaving 18 markets. And I remember Dogfish Head doing something similar. And then they were able to, once their new facility in Boulder, Colorado opened up, they were able to re-enter the market. And by the end of 2016, they were back in those same markets. So it's interesting to see a brewery. Like I said, I've seen Dogfish Head do it, a couple others, where they pull out of breweries because they know they're selling themselves a bit short. And being like, instead of, not being able to supply all these places with our beer or all of our beer, we'll pull out. We'll come back later. I know, Paul. I said pull out. We'll see what you do with that in the comments. But it's one of those things where...
Don't give him the easy ones.
I mean, he was going to take it anyway, so I just had to make sure I'm aware of what he's going to do. In 2015, they closed the door on their original brewery and opened up a $30 million, 70,000 square foot brewery, which nearly doubled their capacity. And then, again, this is mostly Wikipedia. I'm going to go to another little part of their story. It's weird because I think I'm getting more of a better background of Avery out of Wikipedia than I am of their actual site. So, Wikipedia, believe everything you read. But the last little piece of the history they have for on Wikipedia is that in 2007, Avery announced that San Miguel has purchased 30% minority stake in the business, which technically no longer makes Avery a craft brewery, since the Brewers Association requires you to own yourself more than 75%. So Avery technically is now a macro brewery for all intents and purposes. If you take what the Brewers Association means, if you believe what it means or you care to believe what it means, because whatever, arbitrary a lot of times.
Yeah.
Real quick on the history on their website, they have a little timeline. I'll read it down real quick. As I said before, they started in 1993. Specifically on the website, so September 1993, they were established. In 1994, this is a great random nugget of information from the website. Their Out of Bounds Stout wins the gold medal at the Great American Beer Fest. I mean, that's cool. Yeah. You started in 93, and then you win a gold the next year. Pretty good. In 96, their Avery IPA became the first packaged IPA in all of Colorado. So if you're looking for the first actual IPA that was brewed and packaged in a can or a bottle, it was Avery IPA in 1996. 2003, they opened their tap room, and then they started. So, Rod's drinking one right now, but this was the first time they started experimenting with their barrel-aged beers. It was 2013, so almost 15 years ago. In 2008, their 15th anniversary edition is the largest batch of 100% Brettanomyces beer ever produced.
Wow.
And that was in 2008, so we're almost 10 years ago, 9 years ago. Brett has been popular over the last, say, 3 or 4 or 5 years. Like, people have been really, into wild yeast strains and what they can do. But they were using it back 10 years ago, so that's pretty cool. The next year, in 2009, their barrel aged series was born with a Brabant, which was their wild ale. I've never even heard of that one, honestly. Then again, 2009, I don't think a lot of us were getting Avery in our area, in all honesty. Yeah. In 2010, they began to can beer, which was cool. Again, a little bit ahead of the curve, because a lot of breweries still to this day don't can beer, but you've seen it over the last 2 or 3 years. In 2011, their annual barrel series is born, and the first beer, not pumpkin, which Rod is drinking, but the other one he picked up for like 12 cents, Rumpkin.
Oh, isn't it?
And then in 2014, the aforementioned new brewery that they moved into, they said, we move into our dream brewery. So 2015, they opened up the huge brewery, and the rest, as they say, is history. So pretty much does it for the history of it. As far as beers go, in like their year-round series, they have the White Rascal, which is their Belgian-style white ale, which is basically a classic wit beer, orange peel, coriander, the whole nine. Their El Goze, which is their Goze style beer, that I think they brew it with lime, and I think it's lime. I'm pretty sure, because they're trying to go for like Mexican lager Goza style combination. Their India Pale Ale, which we talked about being the first ever beer that packaged in Colorado. Their Lilikoi Capolo. I don't know if anyone has had this. It's amazing beer. Wow. The tart passion fruit wheat. It's almost like a Berliner Weiss, but not really. They call it a tart passion fruit wheat beer. If you guys have never tried it, it's awesome. It is like the quintessential.
You've got to drink that.
Quintessential summer beer. You want that by the pool.
You got a place that launched it even in winter, and it's still solid. I mean, it's just solid beer.
Awesome can too. The artwork on it, not that I care too much, but it's pretty fantastic. Ellie's Brown Ale, which Eric was drinking tonight.
Hello.
Mm-hmm. Their Maharaja Imperial IPA, which I don't think it used to be year round. It used to be in the big, the big, bombers. Used to be the huge. Now they're in cans, 12-ounce cans. So that's cool. I remember I accidentally aged one in the back of my fridge. I totally forgot about it. It was like a year and a half old. Still amazing. Still awesome beer. And then their Raja double IPA, which is like the lighter brother of that one, where the Maharaja is like 10%. I think the Raja is just 8%. So Maharaja is like a triple IPA. Style doesn't exist, but it exists, but it doesn't really, but it totally does, but it doesn't. And then the Raj is the double. So again, these are all year round. The Real Peel IPA they have as well, which I've never had. I don't know if you guys seen it. It's an IPA brewed with tangerine peel.
I've not seen that one yet.
Seems to be canned.
Which one is that, Joe?
The Real Peel IPA.
Oh, I have not.
No one's seen it here?
No.
Maybe
Like
that's
Crazy Chicken Wedding Crashers. I'll find you.
Ah, the meatloaf. All right, such a great.
That's all your game there, my bad.
No, that's fantastic. There's no game. I have no game. Now, the last 4 is Joe's Pills.
Joe.
Of course, you know, let's be a hoppy American Pills, because why not? No, I've had it before. It's a Pilsner. A little hop forward. It's all right. There's my name. It's cool. They're Out of Bounds Stout, which we talked about in 1996. They won the GABF gold medal for stouts. I remember having this like 5 years ago. It's pretty solid. And that's, again, to come back to that article we talked about where, like, there's not a lot of just regular stouts released. Like, here's our 6% American stout. You don't see that too often, you know? So, the Reverend, which is their Belgian-style quad.
I've not had that.
Awesome.
I've had a lot of people talk about that one.
Awesome.
Yeah, Eric's defiant.
I mean,
Awesome. Anyone disagree with me?
that's the kind of church I would go to right there with the Reverend.
And then the last one for the year-round beers is, and this is a little not controversial but kind of confusing, is their Hog Heaven, which
I've had Hog Heaven,
and so have I. And when they originally released it, it was called an American style barley wine.
Right.
They have changed it since to an Imperial Red IPA.
I think it's more like kind of a strong ale.
Yeah, I mean it's
more like
and again
strong ale right off of a barley wine. I wouldn't consider it like a red IPA.
I would have never said it was red IPA. And again, I think American Strong Ale is kind of one of those bullshit styles. And when I say that by that, it's like, it doesn't fit any style. So we're just going to say it's totally strong. I'm just thinking American Strong Ale. well, that's what I'm saying. But the style itself, it was like they couldn't think of like where to place it within the style. So like, it's totally American, super strong, and it's an ale. What do we got? American Strong Ale. Let's do it. Like that's kind of where it fits. So, I mean,
it's like Eric's favorite. The what is it, the hoppy wheat ale? The pale wheat ale. That's like
no, baby, it's American. It's American pale wheat ale. That Eric's like, what? That exists? No, it's not a style. Yeah, Eric, it's totally style. No, it's not. It's not a style, but it's totally style. According to BJCP, it's a style, but according to us, it's dumb. It's really stupid.
That's bullshit.
I don't care what BJCP says. It's not a style.
Get the comments real quick before you finish with the rest of the styles. Paul says, even when a package gets there, there's no one that wants it. Okay.
I don't know if people don't want Paul's package. That's on him.
I usually return to sender on that one.
I'm glad you said it, Rod. I'm glad you said it.
As Joe was saying, that's on you.
That's on him. That's 100% always on Paul. Drunken One says, I'm having to watch on my telephone. My broadband is down in my area. That's a shame, Drunken.
Oh, hopefully it's not a weather thing. Hope you're doing good, Drunken One.
Yeah, if you got any of those beer stands, you Drunken One, I hope you're enjoying them.
Which I did see Texas did have snow already hitting down there.
Yeah, that's a come on. Texas with snow?
They thought it was a cocaine like plane crash or something, but no, it was actually
they were like, where's Scarface at?
They're not used to all the white stuff fall from the sky like that. So
Paul says, I'm too classy to fall for a simple pullout joke, good sir. No, you're not. You're totally
not. No.
The Lippian is still my favorite, my all-time favorite, a brew honoring the voluptuous booties goddess. And if she tastes as good as the brew, my tongue would never pull out of that divine ass. This is why I read your comments, Paul, because no one else is making them.
I leave the comment.
And then he said,
I leave the comment reading Joe's question.
And then Paul goes, I guess I'm not too classy after all. Oh, well, surprise. Not a surprise. We knew it. That's why I read it.
After all.
Craig continues with hashtag pills for Joes. Pills or pills? Like pills as in pills or pills as in pilsner? Yeah, I don't know. Either or, I'm down. Paul also continues with nothing too much. Hashtag pray for Joe. Everyone should pray for me. I prefer thoughts, though.
thoughts for Joe. No, don't pray for Joe.
Pray for my beard. It'll be gone by next week. Go away.
Did you get rid of the beard?
Oh, yeah, the beard's
Did
done.
we sign off on any contract or anything? I mean, I think we got obligation to have the beard.
I don't know if you've seen Peter's little video about Pay for Jones stuff. The beard's corrupting me at a bunch of beer tubers. So I feel like I have to put it down.
The beard is the whole center of your power.
Yeah, the corruption and the grooming and everything.
You are the corrupter.
Because this isn't groomed at all, but it grooms people. So
like Gandalf had the stick, you got the beard. So
yeah, it's gone. I can't do it.
It is move on to the Joe, since you are the corrupter.
Yeah, thank you, Todd, for recognizing my ability to corrupt people.
I just saw Joe at an Avery glass. Didn't realize that earlier.
No, I got a left hand.
Okay.
They're Coloradian brethren. I don't know.
It's the brotherhood.
It's the brotherhood, right, of Colorado breweries. To continue with the beers within their series, they have a botanicals and barrel series. I think a lot of these are year-round, or a couple of them are the raspberry sour. You guys see the raspberry sour?
I have not seen the raspberry sour.
How about their vanilla bean stout?
God, I'm trying to find that one.
Yeah,
I've got one in the fridge.
I've read a lot of good stuff about that one too.
Their tangerine quad.
Yeah.
I've seen that. You seen it, Todd?
I've seen it, but I've not had it. I've seen it, but I've not picked it up.
Same here. How about you, Eric? You've seen the tangerine quad?
I have. Oh yes, I have seen the tangerine quad. Yes.
Yeah, it seems like the botanicals and barrels is like, I wouldn't say necessarily year round, but more readily available when it comes to like their barrels and they say, again, botanicals and barrels. So you're basically sours and barrel aged. They also have an apricot sour, which I've not yet seen.
I've seen that one too.
Really?
Yeah, I've seen that one, but
I've seen that one though.
I only seen it for like one day, and then I went back and it was gone.
Their ginger sour.
I've not seen that.
I've not seen that one.
And then the last one, which will make Eric and I fight to the
death.
The coconut porter, daddy. I've actually seen that. So basically,
vanilla bean is currently on the shelf at the local liquor store here. So
vanilla bean has a lot of people who rave about it.
It's. I know when they released it, they said it was going to be a year-round offering, and people were like, "Wow, how can they have a vanilla bean stout? I think it's barrel aged." They're like, "Well, how is it year-round?" I'm like, "Because Avery has a bunch of barrels. I don't know."
Yeah, barrel construction.
Their seasonals, they only have 3 seasonals. They have their Persic Saison, which is an ale brewed with peaches, which I've had before. As far as saisons go, with like fruited saisons,
peaches,
peaches, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty damn good. Their Chai High, which I've also had, which is an ale brewed with
Chai High. Yeah,
it's brewed with spiced chai tea. If you like chai tea, you'll probably love that beer. If you don't, you'll probably fucking throw it out the window. Either way, give it a try. And then last but not least, one of their old school classic. When I first got into craft beer, this beer was like hyped up, and by hyped up, I mean it's just a really fat favorite of a manager of a local bottle shop. And then Avery pulled out distribution. When they talked about 2010-11, New York was one of those states they pulled out of. So he used to get this every year and buy a case of it, and then they pulled out. He's very disappointed and came back. But their Old Jubilation Ale, which is
I've had that one.
Oh yeah,
basically like a winter warmer old ale type, and it's a really damn good beer. I don't know about buying a case of it, but he really liked Old Jubilation.
For $12.99.
Well, and we can't get cases for $12.99 now, can we, Ron?
That's on you.
Probably the most appropriate use of "that's on you." And also, shout out to Avery. If you go to the Barrel Age series on their website and you filter it by Barrel Age series, you think maybe a lot of beers will come on. No, it's just a generic picture of one of their foil top barrel aged beers, and it just says Barrel Age series 100%. If you click on it, you go to the Barrel Age series, it just tells you about like the Barrel Age series, but doesn't tell you what beers within the Barrel Age series that they have. It just says 100% barrel age. So it could be anything. 100% barrel age, though.
Or it could be nothing.
Yeah, it could be. Then they have their annual barrel series, which is they don't mention. This might be somewhere else, but they have Tweak. I don't know if you guys ever had Tweak.
Tweak is out here right now.
I tried to look for that one today.
That's like $12.99 a 12 ounce right now.
Yeah, I just picked one up a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it's basically an imperial stout brewed with coffee, Asian bourbon barrels, and it's like 16-something%. I'm sure Rod will get it for 73 cents at some point. No big deal.
Not yet. Not yet.
Yeah, 60 cents. You're too high, Joe.
Yeah, it can't be over $1. We know that much. They also have their Uncle Jacob stout, which has been around for a long time, and I've heard great things. Although I don't think I've ever had it, but that was like one of their original like annual barrel age series. Going back 5-6 years ago. And then last but not least, one of the beers that Rod got a great deal on. I know I have to specify because that's like about 6,000, but it's it's Rumpkin.
Rumpkin.
So it's
$6.99.
Yep, they're imperial pumpkin beer aged in rum barrels. So,
but again, it was 2016 now, so it's like 16% or something.
Oh, so it's already aged a year for you. Perfect.
Yeah, there you go.
And then they have they're Still Thirsty series ? I don't know if that's an actual like series or they just forgot to put this somewhere in their.
It's like other shit. Still Thirsty.
Yeah, yeah, but it's the beer that Todd drank tonight, and that was their 24 Imperial IPA.
Nice. Got to try that one still.
Yeah, and that pretty much is it for their.
They didn't have Digano on the list.
No, so that's the website now. On Wikipedia, they do a little better. They have the core beers, which we talked about, but then they have the Holy Trinity of ales, which Hoghead and the Reverend is. But then they also have their Salvation Belgian style Gold Ale that I've seen quite a few times on there, and I don't know if they've retired that. In addition, their Dictator series, which aside from the Maharaja, they have the Kaiser, which is their Imperial Oktoberfest, and then I don't know the beer that's everywhere and that I'm drinking tonight, and Rod has like 45 in the cellar. There's Tsar Russian Imperial Stout. I mean,
which I've sent to Eric, who enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's a classic beer. And then there's Demons of Ale. They have the Samuels Oak Aged Ale, the Beast Grand Cru, and the Metastopheles Stout. None of those are mentioned on the site, but those are like classic.
Well, what if they retired yet? The Digana is actually a good one. I haven't seen if they have that else anywhere.
And I agree. I don't know if they've retired it, but it's not on their site. And then even in the annual barrel series, when I mentioned Tweak, Rumpkin, and Uncle Jacob's, they didn't mention the one you have literally right now in front of you, which is the pumpkin, and that's on Wikipedia saying bourbon barrel aged
the KY.
Yeah, the bourbon barrel aged pumpkin porter.
KY.
But it's funny, on Wikipedia they have the exact same thing that their website has, and it just says barrel aged series. And it says Avery Brewing's barrel age programming has released over 35 one-off sour, wild, and barrel aged beers. So I guess it's just the one-offs and the weird ones, so they don't put it on their website because it's like one and done, or they don't brew it again, or it's very infrequent.
That's almost the thing. Like when you see an Avery beer you're interested in, you're better off buying it then, because chances are you won't come back. Like Eric mentioned, he saw one, he came back and it was gone. It's like you wasn't to get it at that point.
Yeah, I agree with that. So that pretty much does it for Avery. So we'll get into our own personal history. First, I will read the comments from Paul, because he's the only guy commenting right now. He says, #ballgag for Joe. I'm on board. He says, Eric saw it. Eric saw it with me, I believe. I don't know what beer he's referring to. Maybe Tweak. Maybe something else. Maybe did he buy it? Yeah, is that the beer you bought when you were in? Okay. And then he says, Tweak is yummy. He says, Uncle Jacob's Stout was good, but a bit more rough compared to the other big barreled ales. And Collaboration Without Litigation was very tasty, which I think is a collab they did with like Russian River and Paul, correct me if I'm wrong, I forgot the other. It was maybe Sierra Nevada. There was 3 breweries that did it where they did the collab, because someone got sued for something and they were like, let's collab and no litigation, blah, blah, blah. But it was popular for a couple of years there. But so personal experiences with the beer, with the brewery itself. First and foremost, we'll go to Rod. Rod, what is your personal experience? What was the first beer you ever had from Avery, and what is your overall opinion of Avery as a whole?
I can't even remember what my first one was with Avery. I'd have to look on Untappd to even see, but overall impression with Avery is at the least for me an A brewery. Most of their beers are A+, top notch. And some people are not going to probably try to give them flack, like, oh no, they sold out, they got 30% to it, So yeah, it's like the same people that'll say that will be the same people buying CBS right now, around in circles. But I think if you look at them as a brewery, and like you mentioned it during your little rundown, they haven't been around as long as some of the other ones. And they just like nailed it for a lot of the time that they've been out there. For me, Avery is one of the top-notch ones that, okay, so if we're not going to call them craft, we'll say crafty breweries now since they've got the check behind them. I've never had a beer that went wrong with Avery. Everything I've had from it has been solid. At the worst, you're looking at something that's damn good. So if I've rated them out, for me, like Avery, as we talk about the different rating of breweries, you know, on a scale of 1 to 5, for me, Avery is easily probably at about that 4.75 level. I've never had a miss from them. I can always expect whatever I'm getting is going to be solid. I can always enjoy the beers I've had. I think for what they deliver, you can find good beers at certain price points. For some, they might be a little more pricier, but they're surely damn worth it when you try them. And I just think they're one of the top-notch brewers out there. No complaints at all, really, with Avery.
Nice. How about you, Eric? First beer you've ever had from them, experience overall?
My first experience is what I'm having tonight is the Ellie's Brown Ale.
This is the first time you ever had them?
Wow. No, you had Czar.
Oh, you had Czar.
This is my very first one.
No, you had Czar when I sent it to you a while back. That was Avery.
Yeah. But this one, I had this one before the
I'm sorry. I thought you were saying.
Yeah, Rod, what are you trying to do, buddy?
I got an 18.8 beer. I got an 18.8 beer. I may lose it at some point.
Yeah, Rod, I feel like the zombie dust would fucked you up originally, but okay.
My bad.
229.
That's all right. Yeah, this but yeah, this one here, the one I'm having tonight with the Ellie's Brown Ale. This one is, I believe, is probably one of the better brown ales on the market. I like the nuttiness flavor. I like the and everything else is pretty subtle and relaxed, and it's just a great overall beer. And in the Czar I've had, which is excellent, and I've had their one with the passion fruit. I can't remember what that one's called. It came in a can.
Lilikoi Capolo, which is
that's so good.
That's one. I didn't care for that one, but that was one I had, and I had one more from them. But I remember, I think the other one I had, it may have been the Reverend I've had. That one was really good, really, really good. Like Rod said, I really haven't came across one that's bad. But personal preference to me, the one with the passion fruit didn't really resonate with me all that well. But
would that be one you would retry at some time, though? Maybe as your palate adjusted to maybe tart beers or sour beers, would you try that again at some point?
Oh yeah, I would. Yeah, I would. But yeah, Rod pretty much summed it up. I mean, I really can't say it any better than he did. I mean, it's all the stuff I've had from them has been pretty solid. I haven't had one that's kind of been a miss, more or less. But I've enjoyed everything from Avery.
What would you give it out of? Rod says 4.75, which I think is the highest score anyone's given out of any of the breweries we've done so far. What would you give it out of 5 as a whole?
Probably about a 4.
Nice.
4 out of 5.
Before we get to Todd, I will mention, since Paul's watching, Craig mentioned that as far as comments go, he said that he's never had an Avery beer, but we do get some in Europe from time to time. Maybe distribution will improve now with the 30% buyout. And that's probably could improve.
Yeah. Really? He doesn't get any Avery beers in Pennsylvania? That's odd.
No. So, Paul, I'll ask you, in addition, we'll go to Todd next. But, Paul, your first experience with Avery, Paul, since you're watching, and also what you would rate them out of 5. Todd, how about you? Same question?
Yeah, I haven't get them for a long time. We just recently started getting distribution again. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but I think it was early this year. Across the river in Louisville to pick some up. And so I haven't had a great experience with Avery, but what I have had has been, for the most part, fantastic. I would put them in the 4.5 to maybe in the Rod territory of 4.75 category.
What was the first experience you had with them, though?
Along the lines of what Eric was saying is the Ellie's Brown Ale, from what I can remember. Yeah.
That's cool. That's very interesting to cool, but you both that your experience was the brown ale from them.
I think early on we were just getting some of the just basic, distribution type beers. So it was, readily available when it first hit. in the area or, that I actually picked up. So able to get Tweak, which is probably my favorite beer that I've had from them. And the Czar is fantastic too. I like that one.
Yeah. I mean, and listen, if anyone has an aged bottle, it doesn't have to be 5 years, but if you want to age it for a year or two, this is. And
I have had the vanilla bean stout is very good also.
For a year-round bourbon barrel aged vanilla bean stout, I mean, it's well priced too. I think it's like $12-13 for a bomber, so you're not like paying the $25 you would from a CBS or anything. So that's cool.
Yeah, it seems like with Avery, you're kind of paying for what you get with the alcohol content and whatever. It seems like it's kind of justified within the range of the style of beer that you're buying.
Yeah, I mean, you look at what Rod's drinking. He's drinking pumpkin. He has rumkin. Forget the deal he got, okay? And I say like Rod gets awesome deals, and I'm happy for him. But I mean, he gets great deals that a lot of people don't. But even for like $12, those beers are awesome. They're like 16, 18%, somewhere in that range, and it's like. They're well made. They're well brewed. They're awesome. So paying $1 an ounce doesn't seem ridiculous when you're talking 16 to 18%. You're drinking basically 3 beers in one.
I think for a lot of people, it would knock them back a little bit with this beer.
For you, it's knocking you back a little bit. It's okay, Rod. Rod, it's okay. All right,
I do this. I say it's a living, but not as a living as I have a regular job.
He's a trained professional, folks.
I've trained for this. My whole life has led to this moment.
And I picked up
go ahead, Dad.
Around Black Friday or so for like $12.99. It's like what 17% or something like that.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one too.
Which one?
I mean, that's
as far as the ABV.
Tweak.
Oh yeah, Tweak. Yeah, Tweak's a good beer.
But the one thing about the Czar I was going to say, which I just found out, and I'm digging to try to see if I can find this. They've got a bourbon barrel aged version and a rum barrel aged version.
Yeah, I'd be on top of that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Seriously though, to not exaggerate, because there's a lot of times you drink beer, whatever. This might be the best aged, like base, non-adjunct, non-barrel aged beer I've had in a long time. Like this is everything I would want from like an imperial stout that's been aged. It just hits all the marks. I've been sitting here drinking this for over an hour, but I've enjoyed every sip. And it's fucking me up at the same time. It's just great. I'm trying to. I have to think about what I'm saying before I'm saying it, so I don't slur worse than I already am. So it's fantastic over.
What's the ABV on that one?
11-1. So I mean, it's a bomber. So it's like I'm drinking 4 beers in one, but I'm not Paul, so I don't have a tolerance.
11-1.
Yeah. So sorry, it's you're drinking your little 12-ounce 18%. Is that all you're doing over there, Rod?
In Rod's case, that's a sessionable beer for you there.
Yeah. Talk to Rod about a half an hour when he's fucking shit-faced over in the corner talking to himself. Then we'll talk about it. I honestly though would agree with you guys. I don't think I'd give it quite a 4.75 like Rod, but I like 4.5, 4.25, 4.5, somewhere in that range. Avery makes awesome stuff, and I think they have one of the best barrel aging programs in the country, if not the world. Like anything I've ever had from them, whether it's I've had one of the best wild / sour beers ever in my life from Avery. I actually did a share that we didn't do online with another beer tuber, Johnny from Crafty Beer Reviews. He's retired, but he hasn't done any reviews in a while. And he pulled it out, and he's like, "Oh, I got this. I got this fucking beer from whatever, blah blah blah." And it was one of the best wild / sour beers I've ever had. You throw it back to Tweak and Rumkin and Pumpkin, and even go to the. I know Todd said he wasn't. Eric said he wasn't a huge fan. Rod thoroughly enjoyed it, but the Lilikoi Capolo is just like. That is the quintessential like summer / just I want to drink a bunch of beers, but I don't want to get hammered, and they have awesome flavors. And then you talk about like the beers like the Czar, Hog Heaven. Like I haven't had a bad beer from Avery. Maybe the worst beer I've had from Avery. Looking at my Untapped, I don't think I give any beer under a 3.5 except for their Chai High, which for me was a little bit I don't know, it was more spicy than cohesive for me. But even so, if I've drank 15 different Avery beers and I have one that has slightly disappointed me, you're doing something really well, in my opinion. And doesn't matter if you're drinking their core beers, their barrel-aged beers, their wild beers, whatever you're doing. I don't think you can really be super disappointed in them, let alone disappointed at all. And they make quality beer. Sometimes their price point, people will see them. Like if you see a pumpkin or a rumkin in the supermarket, because that's where they are. They're like in grocery stores now. But even in a bottle shop, and you look and you go $12, $13, $14. you don't understand the quality you're getting. Like that beer that Rod's drinking right now, Pumpkin, at, $13-14. It's well worth it. You're drinking 3 beers in one. It's a barrel-aged pumpkin beer, imperial pumpkin beer. Like, it's an amazing beer. It's well worth the price. You get it for $6.99, like Rod. Like, yeah, I like safety.
You should go to jail for that.
The life I live.
You should do some hard time for that kind of price.
Yeah. Rod, I'm pretty sure, stole about $7 billion from his local bottle shops. But no, I'd give it like a 4.25 to a 4.5, somewhere in that range. They just might be the best brewery rating that I think we've given, period, as a whole.
Yeah.
I mean, they just make really good beer.
One of the things I wait into why I have them so high is I have an appreciation of the risks they take in doing their beer. They go to different levels on different things that other breweries just aren't doing. That's why I really appreciate them as well. So I probably give them a little bit more of a bump because of that.
Well,
Yeah.
the reason I only gave them a 4 was because I've only scratched the surface of their beers and all that. But from what I've had, it's a definite A brewery.
Yeah, I think we'd all agree on that.
At the worst, it's an A brewery, right? So yeah.
Yeah, like I said, like, it's tough for me. 4.25, 4.5. It really doesn't matter. I think people, if you're watching this, you understand, like, the entire panel. You got 4 guys here, and even Paul in the comments, that we've all had stuff. They make great beer, and if you get them in their area and you've never tried them, then you kind of owe it to yourself and to Avery, because they need to make their money.
Yeah.
To try some of their beers, just anything that sounds interesting, give it a go. It's worth it. Regardless of whether or not you like the style, it's usually well made. And now that they're bought out by San Miguel, it's going to all go downhill. And I highly recommend drain pouring every single bottle you have.
Or send them to me, email me.
I was gonna say, send
them to any one of us. One of us.
No, they'll last a long time. Don't send them to anyone, especially Rod.
We'll find a good home for them. Don't worry.
Yeah. No, we totally will. Comments, we have Paul continues with. He says Russian River also had an ale called Salvation, so that might have been, maybe that was a collab they did with Avery, and they just each brew their own version. I don't remember. Craig from Kent Beer Review says he's not had any Avery beers. Oh, I already mentioned this one. He actually posted a link on Facebook that showed what they get. They get Hog Heaven, their IPA, their Out of Bounds Stout, their Raja, their Salvation, the Reverend, Ellie's Brown Ale, their Anniversary 23. They're a year behind. Some of their barrel aged series, it's just whatever. They had another barrel aged beer that for 15 pounds. It's Lundkis Veribus. I've never heard of that one. Their Persic Saison and their Vanilla Bean Stout, which is, now this is crazy. This is a bit too much, but over there, the Vanilla Bean Stout costs $22.49 pounds. So that's like almost $30 American. That's a little much. That's a little much.
Steep. That's a little steep.
Yeah, they also get the tweak. So they get a lot. Quite a few of these are sold out. But yeah, the recommendation I would say is like tweak. It is $17.99. It's 17, almost 18 pounds. But it's still an awesome beer. The Vanilla Bean Stout I passed on for almost $30. Like it's almost 23 pounds.
Not worth it.
No. But I mean, Craig, I know you get a lot of awesome beer over there, but I mean, I would just, grab whatever you fancy, more or less. I mean, they don't really make bad beers, so it's whatever you like stylistically would be my recommendation. Oh, is that euros and not? Is that euros and not pounds?
No, that's British pounds.
Are we doing conversion?
No, it's actually euros because he sent it me to. Okay, yeah, okay. So it's even euros. I think I don't know how the euros is to the American dollar. Might even be worse than pounds. Is it worse? I don't know. Euro to USD. Let's see. I can do this. So it's actually better. So 22.49 euros is like $26 American. Still expensive for the vanilla bean style.
Still high, yeah.
That's like double the price you get here. Granted, you have to ship it across the pond, but at the same time, I don't think it's worth double the price that we pay.
Yeah.
Paul says he'd give it a 4.25 for Avery as a whole. The one-offs are great, but their mainstay is good, but not great for me. I can see that. He also says it might have been the case of Czar I bought for my 5th anniversary. For 5th anniversary, he says he's also got a really aged Czar. What do you mean by that, really aged? Are we talking a couple years, 5 years, 10 years? Because I'd be curious. Drinking this 5-year-old Czar, this is, like I said, one of the best aged imperial styles I've ever had. It's fantastic. I'm also fucked up, but it's fantastic.
Avery's doing some work tonight.
Oh yeah.
Putting some work in.
Yeah.
Putting some work in.
They're the only brewery that have that slightly fucked up both.
Yeah.
Just a bit. Just say a little.
Which will be a great lead into Eric's PSA later. So.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. No, I'm not driving anywhere. I'm driving myself to bed in about fucking half an hour.
It's a good lead in. Definitely a good lead in.
Last but not least, to close out the series, so I would say we already talked about like overall opinion and first experience. Any beers that you guys want to try from them? What has been your favorite beer and also your least favorite beer from them? We'll start with Todd.
My favorite beer so far has been Tweak. My least favorite, I honestly don't really know. I haven't had enough of them. I haven't really had enough of them to really say. I want to try more Avery beers.
What do you want to try? Anything that we mentioned tonight, or anything that has caught your eye? All of them?
Yes.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Why not? Of course.
Is that a question?
I don't know.
Have you guys ever
know.
seen
I don't really know.
Have you ever seen like The Professional? The old movie with the guy with the top, I forgot the chick's name, but he's like the I don't know if he's like a British like covert spy or whatever. He's Gary Oldman is like the cop. They're trying to come in there. It's like the one part in the movie. And Gary Oldman's like, bring me everyone. And they're like, who? And he's like, everyone. And it's like, Todd, like, bring me them all. Bring them every one of those beers from Avery.
All of the above. All of the above.
Yeah, that's basically
I don't know, really. I mean, to pinpoint any particular one, I don't know.
Just all of them. I got you. All of them. Every single one that I come in contact that I want to purchase, I want to try. I get it. How about you, Eric? Any favorite, least favorite, what you want to try from them?
The favorite to me is a tie between the Reverend and the Czar. And my least favorite, although I would like to try to have it again, like what you said, Joe, is the passion fruit one, which I cannot even pronounce. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it.
Lilikoi Capolo.
What's the what?
I think it's a Lilikoi. Lilikoi Capolo. I think Lilikoi I think that's just passion fruit. Is what Lilikoi means, but I'm all right. I'm drunk. I don't know what I'm saying. Maybe Lilikoi. Hello.
Fancy pants.
But yeah, I would like to try the other beers from Avery because like the Ellie's Brown Ale, I like that as one of my favorite brown ales, and I'm kind of a brown ale fan a little bit, so that's my favorite. But I would like to try some of the other styles that Avery has. I mean, the Czar and the Reverend are top notch to me.
No, they are. You're on point for sure. And the good thing is when you're talking about trying, more Avery beers, there's a lot of Avery beers to try. That's the great thing about it.
Yeah, there is.
And now with the buyout of San Miguel and them no longer being technically a craft beer brewery, their distribution and the things that they'll be able to produce will probably even grow exponentially. So we'll even probably get better beers over the next couple of years, but everyone won't scream at the top of the rooftops about it's not craft. It's still amazing beer. I don't care if it's craft beer. It's still amazing. All right, Rod, favorite beer, least favorite beer. What do you want to try from them?
Favorite beer, and I just remember my one that isn't the most favorite beer, which I'm going to actually, I almost want to say my rate is more of a 4.5, but favorite beer, Lila Capolo. I'm going the opposite of Eric. I just think it's a great fruit. I could drink that in the summer. I could drink it in the winter. I could drink it any time of year. It's got a nice, refreshing feel to it. And I just realized one that I had from them before that wasn't overall that great, which is something because I'm usually a Belgian ale fan, was their Karma. I thought that was not a good rendition of the Belgian type style they were trying to go for. So that would be the one that was the lowest rated for me.
What do you want to try from them? Everything? Just like Todd, everything? All of it?
I'll keep trying. I'll try pretty much everything you put in front of me, but
especially if you get great deals.
No one remembering that beer. It was a little
more opportunity.
Maybe from the 4.75, maybe down around the 4.5 level. But again, it's almost like they tried to pull off one of those triple axle routines in the skating, right? And they fell a little bit. They fell off a little bit, but they still went for it. So you can't really ding them all the way down. I mean, you can't be that Russian judge and just like slam them. So
you totally could if you want to be an asshole.
They went for the play, and they just didn't nail it. So,
gotcha. I'm picking up what you're putting down. I get it. For me, it's a tie, kind of like Eric over there for best beer. beer that I don't think any of you guys had, but I had the pleasure of somebody sharing with me was a 5 Monks from them, which was their barrel-aged, Rod, settle down, barrel-aged Belgian quad.
Am I getting crazy? What's going on?
No, it's no Belgian quad. When I just thought I would mention it's a barrel-aged Belgian quad. It was one of the best.
But it wasn't a Karma, I was thinking.
No.
Aged 10 years, I'm sure.
No, it wasn't. It was actually relatively fresh, and it was. If it was aged 10 years, it should be better than like a 75 out of 5. No, but it was one of the best beers I've ever had, especially Belgian beers. It was just absolutely magnificent. And then I will put Lilikoi Capolo in there. As far as rating for that beer specifically, I gave it like a 4 or 4.25. But kind of like Rod said, it's one of those beers you could have any time of the year. It's a perfect summer beer. It's just fucking tasty. Like there's no way around it. It's just really good beer, which is why I hope Eric tries it. Eric maybe tries it again and doesn't like it because he, maybe he's just not a fan of it, and it happens because
I'm gonna have to look for that one. I don't. To my knowledge,
you close your eyes, and you're like on an island somewhere.
Yeah, it's slightly tart. It's slightly sweet. It has the passion fruit character, but it's like I can get why people wouldn't dig it. But I feel like if you're into that style, like it hits home with you. It's a little expensive though. I think it's like $12 a 4-pack, which you're talking about like a 4.5% beer or whatever. I get it, but it's so well made. Just like it's spot on to what they're going for, which speaks a lot, and it's just so good. So
my recommendation would also be get on draft if you can.
Oh yeah, for sure. What were you gonna say, Eric, about that?
I can't remember.
Shit, me either. So maybe Todd.
You will remember on the show where you're drinking beer.
No, what were you saying, Todd? You want to try that because you haven't seen that yet, right?
Yeah, no, I don't. To my knowledge, I haven't seen that one. Of course, I haven't looked for it, but I'm gonna keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, keep an eye out. You'll probably start seeing it probably in the spring, early spring, maybe even late winter. Maybe they'll Sam Adams the shit out of it.
Is it a Goza style?
No, it's basically
a wet beer.
They call it a wit beer, but it's reminiscent of like a Berliner Weiss and wit beer combo because you get like a tartness from it that isn't sour, and then you get like the fruitiness from the passion fruit, and there's little spices in there, and there's the Belgian yeast, so it's kind of like a wit beer meets a Berliner Weiss. It's so refreshing. Dare I say, quaffable.
Speaking of, I got like my wife hooked on Belgian whites now, so everywhere I go, she's like,
step forward.
Yo, I will say this.
Step in the right direction.
One of the best
people, and I got to train good now because they'll say like Blue Moon. It's like, no, not Blue Moon. Do you have
yeah. One of the best American brewed Belgian wit beers I've ever had. Make sure no one else hears this. Genesee Brew House.
Oh, stop.
On tap because they have the pilot.
Stop.
Dude, it was amazing. I wish they would can that. Because it is so good.
Is this like Paul thought Yingling was a Saison?
No.
Rod, we can actually say the czar is kicking in.
No, it's not. I'm telling you. If they ever can, have you guys but in all honesty, have any of you guys had any of the Genesee pilot batch, the brew house stuff?
I've not had any of those now.
No, I haven't.
A lot of them down here. We do get the cream ale now, which I'm going to try at some point because people.
Yeah, fuck the cream ale. Yo, I love the cream ale. As far as like a macro beer goes or whatever, like it's pseudo macro, that's an awesome beer. But their pilot batch stuff is really damn good. And people who don't pick it up are biased towards because it's Genesee and they're like, well, it's a macro. But their pilot batch stuff is good. I've went to the brewery that's across from the big Genesee brewery. Mm-hmm. Their Belgian wit beer was on tap. It was one of the best wit beers I've ever had. And I'm not even joking around. They've released, they have I think it's a dark chocolate Scotch ale now. They have a coffee porter. They make good stuff, but people don't buy it because it says Genesee on it. It's very frustrating. It's just a bias towards it. It's like, try what's in the bottle, then, speak your opinion, but don't just say because it's Genesee, I'm not going to buy it.
Speaking of bad stuff, though, I did get a good deal on some Shafley beer. So I'm going to have those upcoming in some.
On who?
Shafley.
Yeah, we don't get it here. I'd love to try their pumpkin ale. I hear it's great.
You don't get the Shafley in your area?
I'm going to send you can get to your channels ready, but let me know because I haven't.
That's true. I'll be.
How do you get perennial, but you don't get Shafley?
Dude, I have no idea. Don't ask. I don't know.
Craig across the pond gets Treehouse.
That doesn't even make sense.
Or Trillium.
Yeah. She gets Trillium over there, and no one else gets it but Massachusetts.
Shafley's one of those great breweries that just does everything.
They're pretty solid.
They're not
everything's well made,
much, but they're great. Yeah.
Yeah, to finish up the segment, the beers I'd like to try, honestly, is they're year-round. I've never tried the vanilla bean stout. I know, you, Todd, you said you've had it, and I want to try the raspberry sour. I always see it, but it's one of those things where it's just like it's always there, so I can pick it up wherever. I like to pick it up. So, Avery, general consensus, awesome brewery. Very, very good. Everything's well made. Depends on what style you like, but I think they do everything quite good. I think my recommendation would be to try anything in the barrel aged realm, the Wild Series realm. Their base stuff is going to be good if you get Ellie's Brown Ale or their IPAs or only double IPAs or the Lilikoi Capolo, right, Eric? If you get any of that stuff, I think you'll be happy. But the barrel aged stuff is kind of where they shine. Don't be bashful. It's a little expensive. Pick it up. I mean,
Eric's
it's worth
like, why are these guys trying to push it back on me now?
What are you pushing that on me, guys?
You get it right now, Eric. No, but I think Avery's in like the upper echelon of the breweries we've done so far, which is what we've done like 7 or 8 now.
Yeah,
they're definitely up there. I think pound for pound, dollar for dollar, they're probably better than the vast majority of the ones we've done right now or done to this point. So
yeah.
They do good stuff, and I'll continue to buy them. I don't know about you guys. I'm sure it's the same. I don't care. They bought out 30%.
I still buy them, just like I'll still buy some of the Founders beers.
Yeah, they make good stuff. It doesn't. I highly doubt San Miguel is going to interfere with what they're brewing. If anything, it's going to be a plus and allow them to probably branch out, and make even more stuff. So,
the big thing is usually when I do the reviews, I don't put them like in my craft beer type groups, just because I try to follow the Brew Association. Even though I have my issues with it. They're trying to say what craft beer actually is, and technically they don't meet the criteria, but I'll still drink them and I'll still review them and stuff like that. And just like some of the macros, I'll drink a macro here and there too, and I'll put a review up there once in a while on it as well. So,
yep,
it is what it is.
We have a couple comments here. I'll get to them right now, just so they don't leave and then hate you forever. Jinx Summer, who
Jinx, what's going on? She's in Canada.
Oh, sweet. We're from Canada, Jinx, if you don't mind me asking. I remember I saw her comments from last week, and she's like, I just missed it. So she said, haha, I caught you live. Hey, meow.
Meow, meow.
Hey, meow.
Super Troopers. Yeah, Super Troopers. I like it.
Meow.
Yeah, right, meow. I'm gonna read your comments, meow.
Right, meow.
Paul continues with he thinks the bottle of the Czar he has is pushing 6 years. Paul, I'd dive into that right now head first because I think you love it.
What are you doing, son? Oh, he's trying to do a month without beer right now, I think.
Yeah, well, good luck to him. His favorite was Calipian, and his least favorite was White Rascal.
Oh, okay.
White Rascal?
I like White Rascal.
White Rascal is just their Belgian style wit. That's all it is.
Oh, all right.
It's all right. He said he wanted to try Nutty Professor, which is another one they didn't mention, and I saw actually on shelves here, which was their, I think, Imperial Stout with peanut nuts or peanut butter and aged in bourbon barrels.
Well, you better grab it if you see it.
I haven't seen it in like 6 months.
Oh.
Jinx continues with, she says, I like black ice, LOL.
The Molson girl.
Smearing off black ice.
She likes Molson. Jinx, don't get angry, but
Molson. Molson.
Labatt is better than Molson. No, I actually don't. I don't want to start any wars in Canada here. She also says, coffee beer, ? LOL. Yeah, there's all kinds of different beers, and coffee beers are very popular.
Jinx will try to get up in her game, so we're trying to get her to a new level.
Yeah, you gotta listen. If you like your Molson, more power to you. That's awesome. But don't be afraid to branch outside to try stuff. You might not ever drink stuff on a daily basis, but it's not a bad idea to try different stuff now and then. You never know what you'll like. Maybe you'll like it better than black ice. Maybe. Probably not, but maybe. You never know. Tyler Finkbeiner says, what's going on, fellas?
What's up, Tyler? My second Tyler.
Too many Tylers.
I'm a big hit with the Tylers.
the Tylers love the show.
Check out Tyler's channel. Tyler does beer tubes as well, so check out his channel too.
Nice.
Oh, does he? All right, so yeah, it's Tyler Finkbeiner to spell it. In case this doesn't show up again, it's Finkbeiner. So
yeah, he has his channel. He's doing some good stuff too.
Bum says, we might have to fight, but maybe play fight because I love you, Bum. He says, I had the Jenny Pilot batch salted caramel chocolate porter last year, and he thought it was seriously unbalanced. I like that beer, but it was really the unbalanced part. It was really sweet, but it reminded me of a salted caramel chocolate bar. If you guys have ever had like the chocolate bars of that, it was like I want 4 or 6 ounces, and then I'm gonna tap out because it's super sweet. It's like drinking a melted chocolate bar. You can only handle so much of that. But it was another one of those beers where it's like Jenny does the cream ale, does the Jenny beer, does this, that, and then here's their salted caramel chocolate porter. It's like, what the hell's happening?
Plus, your dumbbells kind of fell, so.
And that's true. I am unbalanced in many ways. Bum says, I gave a shout out to Jinx earlier tonight. I don't know what that means. He says,
did Joe do something? Was Bum doing something earlier?
I don't know, Bum. What was that reference to? Because the simple fact of the matter is Joe D has 2 shows. It's Tuesday and Friday. Today is Thursday. I'm fucked up, and I know today's Thursday.
He's stepping out on Joe? What's going on? I thought on the contract he could not go anywhere besides Joe D's show.
Yeah. Jinx says, I want to try the salted caramel chocolate porter, LOL. You probably would like to try it. I don't know if you'd like it, but it's...
The one from Sierra Nevada?
No, the one from Genesee.
Well, Sierra Nevada's got the salted caramel, too, right? So.
Do they really? Wow.
Yeah, they got one, too.
They have a lot of beers here in Nevada at this point.
I almost got cinnamon roll last week, but you know what? Car was kind of full. I was like, do I need this one?
Yeah, no.
I said, I'll come back when the deal happens.
Yeah, I'll come back when I can get for 23 cents.
Yeah.
Canadian. Tyler says he's got a bottle of the 2016 Rumpkin. I'm excited to see how it changes. High ABV, if I remember.
Too, Tyler.
Yeah. Tyler, did you get yours for 27 cents?
Yeah. Did they pay you to take it off the shelf?
Yeah. Did they pay you to drink it?
I want here. We'll give you a case to go with it.
Doesn't everybody get it for $6.99?
Maybe if they shop at the same place you do.
Everybody paid more than $7 a bottle.
I like how all Rod's beer runs.
I feel like I'm sitting on the bootlegging business. I'm not real. I could be the next Kennedy. I just don't know what's going on here.
You don't. You really don't. Jinx.
You just don't know your own fame. You just don't know your own fame. They see you coming and they just literally drop the price.
No one likes a bragger, Rod. Jinx says, thanks to Bum. And Tyler continues with, never enough Tylers. Touche, good sir. Bum says he said, and I quote Jinx earlier when him and I were talking about the Rogue Voodoo beers, and he was like, Jinx, because I said it at the same time he's mentioning it. So he said, I said Jinx earlier tonight in my comments when we both mentioned Rogue beers. So I see what you're doing, Bum.
Oh, I see what he's doing there.
Yeah, I'm doing it. It took me a few seconds because I'm hammered, but I understand what you're saying.
I'm seeing through the 18.8 fog right now.
Yeah, Jinx says, "Oh, LOL, a precursor." Laughing my ass off. That's what Bum does. Precursor all night. And Tyler says, "I wish. I think his was $8, maybe. Damn.
That's a good deal.
Yeah, that's a Tyler. That's a great deal. It's not a Rajay deal. It's still amazing.
But it's good.
It's a Rajay deal, yeah, but it's still a great deal.
No, it's fantastic. It's a really good deal. So yeah, Avery, great beer, a great brewery. If you haven't had them, check them out, and don't be afraid to check stuff out from them. I think that pretty much ends the Avery talk because I don't want to talk about a macro company anymore.
You did a very good job, Joe. Running down Avery. There you go.
Thank you. I was hammered for like the last 45 minutes, though.
Really? Couldn't tell.
At some point,
the amount of slurs were kept to a minimum, but they're there. Totally there.
At some point, I'll have graphics and sound effects for you. But until then, that was the Average Joe segment.
Hashtag pray for Joe. I want to pray for me. Thoughts are okay too.
Mind blown.
The overall summation is you should try Avery Brewing because they're pretty damn good.
Easy way to sum it up. Yes, try them out. And the great thing about Avery is they're in so many markets now in so many states, and even fucking Craig from Ken Beer Reviews all the way across the pond in the UK, he can get like 15 different beers. With San Miguel buying 30% of them, I don't only imagine that that's going to rise, and the availability of the beers are going to be even more so in the states. I doubt they're in all the states of the US, but probably in 75% of them. That'll probably be 100 at some point.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, cool. Well, I think that pretty much runs us down, right? So
Yeah, last comment is Tyler says, "Damn, Rajay wheeling and dealing." Yeah, yeah, that's Rajay's deal. No pun intended. That's what he does.
My environment, I'm in the right spot at the right time.
And Craig from Kemp Beer Reviews last comment says, "Cheers, great show, guy." Actually, there's one more comment there, but he says, "Cheers, great show, guy." Appreciate Craig hanging out. I know I think he cracked open a beer or two and hung out over there. It's like 4 a.m. So kudos to him.
Cheers, Craig.
Cheers. That was awesome. So
yes. Thank you for stopping by.
I have like a half ounce left, but that's for you, Craig.
Cheers, Craig.
And then last but not least is Bum says, "Cheers, Craig. I mean Kent. Haha." That is funny. That is funny because on Joe D's show, they wanted to call him Kent. And then I made a comment that he did. And then I said, "Funny story, guys. My name's actually not Joe. It's Kent." And they like that. that was pretty good. Joe D.
He was older. I told him after, his name was Craig, though, right? They're like, "What do you mean? I've been calling him Kent." I was like, yeah. I did the same thing for 3 or 4 months before he told me. I was like, in America, it's usually your name out front, not the city you're actually in.
Yeah.
If I put Independence Beer Reviews, nobody would think my name was Independence.
You'd be surprised.
Unless somebody's throwing dollars at you.
Yeah.
And Greg like that said LOL.
Oh yeah.
And then Jinx said, "Have a great night, guys. Ciao for meow." I like that. so before we leave, shout out to Hillbilly Wine 101 who posted. He said waiting for you, but I don't think he ever waited long enough. Which is okay.
He actually was. Again,
he's a good dude.
If you guys didn't know that are watching, somehow I posted a thing on my Facebook page and stuff, and I mentioned, I think, on one of the other shows, I've got the YouTube channel somehow was listed on the top 50 YouTube wine from FeedSpot, which I have no idea how that happened because we talk beer, but I don't know if it's beer or wine. But somehow we were on that list, but Hillbilly Wine was on there. And then Boondock Beer was on there.
Boondock Beer,
Texas.
Yeah. And then no, he's not out of Texas, isn't he? I
thought he was Texas.
No, I don't think he's Texas. He's where the hell is he? I don't think it's Texas.
Well, maybe that was his family that were in Texas when they had the store.
Yeah. He's in. I don't want to say Kentucky, but he's somewhere in like one of the Midwestern states.
Well, no, because I'm in Kentucky. I would know if he was in Kentucky.
Not Kentucky. He's I don't remember.
Well, anyway, good shout.
Maybe it's Texas. Maybe it's
reviews and Beer by the Numbers was on there. So we were the only 3 beer people listed on this list. Beer by the Numbers has some great stuff. So check out his channel too.
Beer by Numbers likes to shout out a lot of beer tubers too.
So I don't know how it happened, but I appreciate everybody that kind of, I guess, the support that came in, and everybody that watches and all stuff.
Even if it's not a beer list, who cares? Whatever.
Yeah.
No big deal. So shout out to Hillbilly Wine 101. Shout out to Craig. Kemp Beer Reviews, awesome guy. If you haven't checked it out, Kemp Beer Reviews does awesome reviews. And even though he's in the UK, he still does some US reviews and non UK reviews. So if you're one of those guys there is like, "Oh, you're not reviewing anything from my neck of the woods," he kind of does everybody's stuff. Yeah. The first Tyler Mount, I can't say his last name because even if I wasn't hammered, I would be able to say it. Shout out to him. Shout out to Chris from on the 10th.
Shout out to another beer channel. Check it.
Check out Chris on the 10th. He used to be formerly in the basement, but no longer because he's no longer in a basement. Bum is Jody's sidekick.
It's like Trader Joe's contract.
Yeah, he's Jody's contract malt liquor segment guy. That does a great job. But we have to have Bum on here at some point. I don't care about you. We might have to do like some kind of exchange.
I'm in talks with Jody's people to try to get him to release for a special edition. Yeah.
And maybe Bum can do a different segment for us that's not malt liquor related. Shout out to the second Tyler. Shout out to Paul, obviously, for PA Brew News, great friend of ours. Hopefully, shout out to Paul not only for being here, but also he hasn't drank beer in a while. He's been off the booze, so good job for him.
Check out his channel too because he does the beer stuff. Yeah,
he hasn't in a while, but he has a lot of content on it. Hundreds of reviews. So Paul's one of those unwatchable beer tubers. I mean, sorry, he's totally watchable, right?
Don't worry about the handcuffs or any of the axes and stuff in the background. So,
yeah. Shout out to Carrie, aka Redbeard, who Paul got into a little spat with. It's all in good fun.
He does the beer.
Yeah, Redbeard does a daily beer vlog. So that's shout out to Eric, who's in the comments, but also in the chat.
So Eric here as well. Eric's beer reviews,
and
he revamped his channel.
Yep, he said F Eric Alliance fan for beers, although he does it for Alliance and Sports Michigan State. Shout out to Jinx, first time I've seen her in a live. She's in Canada.
She does different things.
Yeah, so check out her channel. And last but not least, Tyler Finkminer, who I mentioned earlier. Shout out to him. He's apparently another beer tuber. So shout out to everyone who has given us love and have commented. We appreciate it.
Yeah, one of the times I can't remember which one it is, but one of them hooked up with me on PS4, so we'll get together and we'll do some gaming. And make sure you check out my gaming channel if you're into gaming as well.
Especially tonight, if Ron goes over there, hammer.
Yeah, I'll go in there later tonight because I get to sleep in tomorrow.
My Lord! Also exclusive. Do we get some kind of sound?
I'll probably be doing some drunk COD Call of Duty tonight. So.
The perfect segue in from Rod's gaming channel is into the last comment we'll have that I'll read tonight. So if you commented after this, I apologize, but we're wrapping it up. Bum says, Bum's YouTube channel coming in 2032. So keep an eye out. 15 years from now, Bum's going to have a channel.
Bum's laying the groundwork for it. Of course, if you're ever in Pittsburgh, Bum knows some good beers.
I'm gonna meet up. Listen, I'm driving down to Pittsburgh within the next 6 months or so. I'm gonna hang out with Bum. He's gonna hook me up with all the malt liquor, all of them. I'm gonna meet Billy D. Williams, no doubt.
Bum might beat my channel.
Bum knows spot. Yeah, Todd's channel coming in 2024.
My channel's actually coming, so it's gonna be horrible. Not as good as Bum's or Todd's, but it's going to actually happen.
No, it's like Charles Barkley, terrible. It's going to be terrible.
Oh, it's going to be terrible. Bunch of knuckleheads. Bunch of knuckleheads reviewing the beer.
San Antonio ain't got no nice women. I've seen San Antonio women, and they ain't nice.
It might be turbo, but it's going to be a lot of nothing there, Rose Daddy.
A bunch of knuckleheads.
Yeah, a bunch of knuckleheads talking about their craft beer, a bunch of knucklehead gummies.
Because we care, we have to have Eric provide the PSA.
Oh, no doubt.
All right, guys. If you guys have had too much to drink, what was all that?
It was like gold dust. It was like gold dust from WWF or WWE. You gotta breathe in and then exhale the PSA.
Like that?
Yeah.
Guys, if you've had too much to drink, please get a designated driver. Guys, in this day and age, it's stupid to drive home drunk. That's zero tolerance. But if you feel like you have to, you're going to get pulled over. You're going to do the stupid-ass sobriety test. Then you get a ride in a cop car to the jail cell. And then you have court fees and then possible prison time. And then, guys, if you hit or kill somebody, you're going to be in the slammer for a while. And if you kill yourself, all you've done is put yourself 6 feet under and hurt your family and friends, all right? Sleep off your buzz. Call an Uber, a taxi, Lyft. Have the bartender get you a cab or something. Have someone at the bar take you back home. Just don't do it in this day and age because it's zero tolerance, all right? Sleep off your buzz. Get your car the next day.
There you go. And, I got Eric puts in there, stupid ass test. Like the test is just like, why are you going to make me do this, copper?
Yeah, this isn't going to be a fantastic test.
I'm going to do it, copper.
It's going to be a stupid, dumbass test. You have to use
the dumbass test. I mean, they are. They're like, we'll go Z to A. I'm like, dude, I can't even do the alphabet the right way.
Let alone on 15 beers.
Yeah, let alone I'm not going to go to Z to A.
I'm Polish. I can't do anything correct.
I mean, I'm more of a multiple choice kind of guy.
Yeah.
And of course, we appreciate everybody checking out stuff. So we can't just go away without giving a little bit of a Dusty Rose sign off as we get ready to close out the night. So again, we bring you the great, the legend, the one, the polka dot rocker, Dusty Rose himself, in all his glory. R.I.P. Dusty right there, big Dust. And let's go ahead and check out what Dusty has to say tonight. Dusty, you awake?
Hello.
Wake up, Dusty.
Yeah, please. This is. There have been many times you and I have gone round and round, and we bled the same blood in the same mud. But this time it's all about business, Jack.
Let's do it.
You and I Friday night, Daddy, at the Polk County Stadium. The Great American Bear. Dusty rides on the edge of a lightning bolt with a silver saddle, Daddy. Now you come on down there with your limousine and your horsemen. Bring your A game. Yeah, it's Rick there, please.
This is.
It's time for you to meet your maker and the American dream. Whoa, it's up for the challenge.
I think the American dream's barking up the wrong tree.
We'll see if your blood is as red as mine, Mr. Flares.
We will find out indeed, sir.
That's right, find it out and flip. You put your phone up on me.
May I take a message?
Yes, tell him this is Big Dust, the American dream.
Big Duff, the American dream?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a friend of his?
More of a nemesis, I guess you could say.
Are you Bob Klepak's friend?
I do not know who this Klepak fella is. All I know was that the other night when Rick hit me from behind, I saw what a line was drawn and now. Friday night, let's go! Hey, where did you go, baby dog? Got a bicycle! He got a bicycle!
Oh shit.
That all being said,
Yeah,
thanks for hanging out. We'll catch you guys next week. Keep drinking those good craft beers. Get your beer on, and cheers.